Any thoughts coming out of yesterday and coming back on the floor about things you really want to focus on with the group?
I think you can look at the scoreboard, and that really wasn't the most important thing, but just looking at what we were trying to do defensively and what we're trying to do offensively. So, obviously it wasn't perfect, and there's things that we can build upon. There were some things we did well, which was encouraging. But again, it was like our first time in 4 practices coming together and playing, and there were some things to definitely take away from it that we need to continue to work on.
Raymond said that picking up full court is something that he wants to do this season. What are the benefits of having a guy who can do that for you?
Well, it shortens the clock for the other team. It doesn't allow them to get into offenses quickly. You're dealing with less screening actions. He's done it for a long time. He's good at it, and he's kind of knows where to pick his spots. But him doing that, I think, kind of maybe sets a tempo for us defensively, and I would like him, to be able to do that for us.
Billy, Raymond also said he ran a lot with the second unit guys today. Was Russell doing more, or was that just wanted to give Raymond?
He did more today. Russell did more today, which was good. Today was the first day that they did contact, and we'll see how the medical. I haven't had a chance to talk to them yet, but he looked fine out there. There's no effects from anything. So we got up and down and worked in the half court, and he was there for every bit of it.
Is that something they would tell you tomorrow then, what his status for tomorrow would be?
Well, him, Patrick, and Alex are definitely out. Those 3 guys are definitely out for tomorrow, so they're not going to play. Those 3 guys won't play. But I think for Russell, it's just a slowly progression. It's no reason just to throw him back in so quickly. But he's doing more and more, and he did everything today in practice.
What about Patrick and Alex? Where are those guys?
Well, I would say that with both of those guys, it's really difficult to put a time frame on it. It's not something we think is long term, but they're not going to play. I think both guys continue to make progress towards playing. How long that will be, when that day will be, I'm not really sure. But I think both guys they're getting better. There's progress, and they're doing more and more each day.
Is Raymond going to be the starter tomorrow?
Yeah, we'll start Raymond tomorrow. Yes.
How's Raymond's role kind of been for the team with Russell being out this preseason for a certain amount of practices?
With Raymond, one is because he's been in the league for a long time. He's a point guard. He's really smart. He's bright. The one thing I think with him is he's really done an incredible job of investing with the younger players. He really has spent time with those guys. He talks to those guys. He helps those guys. He has a great presence on the court. He has a great presence in the locker room. He's a very, very mature veteran that understands his role, his job, what he has to do, and he's a great guy to communicate with and talk to because he is so bright and has so many different ideas. But he's really been a great addition to our team, because of those things.
Does what you ask of him change? When you signed him, you had Paul George before, but now you have Carmelo as well, and that's another guy that's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. Does what you ask of Raymond change now that you have a guy like that?
No, not really. I mean, Raymond has I think I think I said this when Raymond became part of our team, is if you look at what he did, last year, even with the Clippers, there's sometimes he's on the ball, sometimes he's on the board, he's a 2-guard spot, point guard spot. Like Raymond's just really, he's I think because of his experiences, and he's a winner. He understands how he needs to look at the group and figure out, okay, how can I mesh in, gel, fit in, and add value and help the group. And he has a great ability to be able to adjust to things, whether it's adjusting by talking a lot to the second unit to help them, whether it's trying to figure out how to, get Carmelo and Paul, involved and play off of those guys. He's got a great awareness and be able to do that.
What do you anticipate rotations looking like tomorrow? I mean, I know last year, like preseason stuff, you take it easy. Is it similar type of thing?
Yeah, I'm not going to, for the rotation part of it, I'm not even at this point in time really looking at that at all, as much as trying to get, specific guys work in. because our team is going to be shortened, so to speak, with Alex and Russell and Patrick being out. I'm not really worried about that rotation, because when those guys are back and they're healthy, they'll be incorporated into the group, and that's probably the time we're going to figure some of those things out. So, we'll play, the first half where we'll try to get some of the veteran guys enough playing time where they feel good, that they're getting good conditioning, they're being able to play, they're able to execute, get a better comfortable feel with one another. But I'm not really worried about how the rotation is going to work just because we've got guys out.
Do you have a minutes plan for Paul George and Carmelo?
Yeah, I mean, I try to talk to those guys and find out, how they feel and what they would like to do. My guess is for both of those guys is to probably evaluate it after the half and see where they're at. They may want a little bit more playing time. They may say that's good. So it'd probably be something at halftime we would evaluate. Don't get me wrong, the rotation part is important, and we'll look at those things, but it's going to be so much different because of the guys that are out in relationship to playing tomorrow.
With all the wing scoring that you guys have, are you expecting Steven Adams to be able to operate in the post with more space this year?
I think Steven continually gets better offensively, but to me, the greatest part of his game is he's such a team-orientated guy that he's not really worried about necessarily his touches or how much the ball's going inside to him, as much as, how can he set screens and free those guys up? How can he set screens and roll to the rim and put pressure on the defense? So he's going to get his opportunities in the post, but I would say for Steven, he's more focused on, what he can do to help the group.
Last year, actually, you mentioned the screening stuff with Steven. Based on the screening numbers for how good of a screener he is, with other guys, he set a lot lower amount of screens and had fewer screen assists and that kind of stuff. Do you anticipate those sorts of numbers being higher this year?
I guess from last year, you mean?
Yeah, from last year.
His numbers being low last year.
Just the amount of screens that he's setting.
He didn't set that many, or he did?
Well, that he wasn't necessarily at the top of the league in screen assists and that kind of stuff. Do you see that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, screen assists in terms of what, generating a shot, you mean?
Generating a shot, generating an assist, getting guys up and down.
I think also depends. I think I look at it differently. I think he had a lot to do with Russell Westbrook in the lane all the time. So a lot of times I'm not sure that they would evaluate that, in terms of a pick and roll as much as it would be screening. I think for our personnel last year, I thought Steven did a really outstanding job, freeing up Russell in ways to get downhill and create and generate offense for our team. But with our team changing, he'll be in different kinds of screening actions, maybe more so than he was last year.
Schematically, to put the most pressure on the defense, do you need, if he and Russ are running high pick and roll, do you need them almost exactly parallel, or what works best in terms of getting downhill on a screen and roll with Steven?
Well, Russell's, listen, I think the biggest thing for the pick and roll with Russell and Steven is, one is how the floor is spaced, who's maybe in the short corner, who's behind the pick and roll, who's in front of the pick and roll, is the floor spaced, is there three along the baseline? There's so many different, so the biggest thing I think is for Russell, because he's going to be able to generate that kind of penetration. He's going to be able to generate things downhill. It's just more trying to create opportunities for him where the floor is spaced in such a way that we can kind of put the defense maybe in some kind of binds where somebody's going to have to help, and maybe he's got the decision to be able to find the open man from there. But so much of that stuff is Russell, in my opinion, does just an incredible job reading, how he's being played, how the screen's being played, and how the floor is rotating. And he's got a lot of experience under his belt to figure that out. And I also think for young guards coming into the NBA, that's the hardest part, I think, is understanding how to read the floor and read coverage and where's the team rotating from and who's going to be open. And I think Russell's exceptional at doing that.
Anybody else? Thanks, Coach. All right.